Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. So, you all know that tonight we're not going to have a live, but I wanted to give you something because there was a ton of news that happened today and I wanted to share it with you. So, BitMEX is the only hack victim, and the government's going to give them all the money back. Cool, but that ought to tell you that, hey, there's probably going to be some movement going on and all that good stuff. So, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because we're paying attention to all of these hacks. You want to know something else? Ronin, a bridge, was hacked a while ago for more than just a few $1,000,000. You want to know what they're doing right now? They're implementing Chainlink's protocol. Yeah, that's actually a really big deal. CCIP, it's a really, really big deal, but it's a cross-chain interoperable protocol or something like that. And the idea is that it does offer another layer of security. So Ronan is saying, hey, we're taking an active stance on decreasing our security posture or strengthening our security posture, right? Because if you get into a fight, you don't stand like this. You stand with your shoulder and to the side, so you give them less of a space to attack. That's exactly what they're doing right now, and I actually like that. Will I use Ronin? Have I ever used Ronin? Maybe and no, right? Maybe once I see how everything, happens down the road, like, are you actually secure? Like, I need to see more, and I need to have a reason to use Ronin. So far, I haven't had a reason to use a service like Ronin. The S&P, there is a report by the S&P Global or by S&P Global that reveals that AI and blockchain work well together. Really? No doubt. I mean, truthfully, if you want to have the combination, it's a trifecta. It's artificial intelligence, blockchain, and automation. Those, that's the mixture right there. So what they're printing out, nice. Not mad about it, but I think they could have gone a little bit further and really looked into it. Because when I look at automation, along with AI, along with blockchain, oof, that's no joke. That's absolutely no joke. Then, if you want to hear about some funny news, funny, not ha ha. So, a Coinbase executive has actually said that, the FBI has mistakenly doxed their own freaking wallets. That's raising a whole bunch of concerns over the security, privacy, everything else that's going on for current investigations, future investigations. That's a big ball to drop. That's a big ball to drop, and I wonder if somebody got fired over that, because that's huge. You doxed your own wallets, so now you're gonna have to. I mean, you can't even change the wallets now. It's out there. They're out there. That's it. So even if you transfer the funds, I mean, you'd have to do something like, I don't know, use Tornado Cash or Mango to swap it all. Like, really? Yeah. So that would be a major problem. There's no way in the world you're going to be able to get the coins out of those wallets and hide them, otherwise, and that would decrease the amount of money that's in there, or the value that's in there. So what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to set up whole new wallets, leave that where it is, and start using the whole new set of wallets. Unless the FBI has some tools that we don't know about. I mean, it happens. It happens. You can make mistakes. But, for something like that, I mean, that's a big mistake to make when you're playing that level of the game. So I know a bunch of people are looking at that. Now, Shiba Inu's Shibarium didn't have a lot of activity on in the DeFi space, but apparently it's actually catching up. It's actually starting to do stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing for Shibarium and the Shiba army. So what else am I thinking about? I need to stop clicking the pen. Ripple has launched new services for fintechs and institutions. Crypto custody. You knew it was coming. It had to come. So with all of the moves that are going on right now, are you paying attention to everything that Ripple's doing? I mean, doesn't it kind of smell like they could wind up facing off against Coinbase? I mean, they say they work with banks and they work hand in hand. I mean, so what are you doing? You're starting to offer services that Coinbase offers. So one would think, is a big deal. One would think that's a big deal. So I'm paying attention to that because I think competition is about to heat up and it's going to be a good thing. I think it's going to be a really good thing for both of them, actually. Because even though they overlap on certain services, they also don't overlap on others. So it's going to be interesting to see how they grow this frenemy relationship, right? I mean, we're in competition on one side, but we make money together on another side. How do we figure out this space? And at some point, is one just going to overtake the other? I mean, because how far away would Coinbase be from? I mean, you would really, when I stop and think about it, Coinbase and Ripple really should get along because Coinbase is really, if you really look at it, you look at Coinbase more like a bank. At least I do. I look at them more like all exchanges. I kind of look at them more like banks, right? Yeah, Ripple's not trying to be a bank. Ripple's trying to work with banks. So it makes sense that they would try to work with Ripple and try to decrease the amount of overlap they have. So it's going to be interesting to see how that actually plays out. There's a lot of news going on. CPI numbers came in hotter than what people expected. And it's got a lot of ears buzzing right now. What are we going to do? How's it going to happen? What's this? What's that? So there's going to be a ton of speculation until the day after elections. You want to know why it's the day after elections? Because that's the next meeting. So people are going to start speculating on 50 basis points versus 25 basis points, and I'm pretty solid on they're going to do 25 basis points. You don't want to come out too big, too strong for no reason. So I'm going to be looking for that. I also want to pay attention tomorrow when we get the other numbers. What is it? We got PPI. We were supposed to get PPI today or CPI, something like that. So we got one set of numbers today, and we get another set of numbers. I believe we get another set of numbers tomorrow. So I think it's PPI. So that's going to be interesting to see. CPI today, PPI tomorrow. CPI is already too hot, and you sit back and you kind of go, ooh, that's going to be interesting, right? And then I'm wondering if it's in time to get, no, it's not. I don't think it's in time to get another set of CPI, PPI. So we'll see. We'll have to see what happens during the next Fed meeting. Straight up. BitMEX introduces automated trading bots. I bring this news to you because it's actually a bigger deal than what people think, right? And the reason why I say so is because it's automated. Remember I told you that a while ago, not even a while, I told you a while ago that what's going on in, the stock world is most of it is bots. Well, that's what you're seeing happen right now in the crypto space. I don't know about you, but I'm not a big fan of bots. But it's going to, and so bots could wind up moving the market because what are bots driven by? Risk engines, which is another kind of semi-automated system that will go out and figure out like what are the risks, what are the macros, and what are the micro events, and blah 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 blah, and then give you a risk register on what those bots think can happen, and then somebody says, okay, we're going to act on this based on certain parameters. We'll do this, 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 and this, and then it becomes like a chain event. This bot does it, then this bot does it, and all the bots start looking at what the other bots are doing, and they start doing it, and then you see the dominoes fall. You see it all the time in the stock market. So we really should be paying attention. Now, I know this show is going to be short, but I still have a bit of news to get to. Mt. Gox extends its repayment plan, and that was a little bit unexpected. So we're going to have to watch out for that. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Iris Energy is in trouble. You want to know why? Iris Energy is a mining company, a Bitcoin miner, right? And they were boasting to investors that, hey, we've got all this capacity in our data centers, blah, 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 blah. Turns out they might not have that capacity. They may not have all of that capacity. Oops. Can you say oops? Yeah. That's going to be a flipping problem, don't you think? That is absolutely going to be a freaking problem. So they're being taken to court. So that's not going to play well for them. I don't think so. I do not think that's going to play well for them. So got to pay attention to that because, again, they're a Bitcoin miner. So depending on how bad that is going to affect how, because they're going to get in trouble. They're probably going to have to cut a check. Depending on how big that check is and how they shake up the executive team, they could be on the chopping block. They really could be on the chopping block. So when I think about that, I started thinking about, well, who could buy Iris? Marathon? There are lots of companies out there that could buy them up. That would be crazy interesting. Here's something else that I find really interesting. You want to know who else could buy them up? You could get a totally non-secular player like freaking Block. Block could buy them out. Block's going big on Bitcoin. That's a Bitcoin miner. That could happen. Anybody in the high performance computing space could buy them out. You want to get really funky? I bet you MicroStrategy could afford to buy them out. I'm pretty sure they could afford to handle that game. Oof. So if they wind up going, and I'm not even telling you from a crazy perspective. I'm hypothesizing, right? However, that's a realistic kind of path, right? That's a realistic path, depending on how big the penalty is going to be. Yeah, that could position them in a not so great way. Iris is big, but they're not so big that they can't get bought. Got to ditch your management? If that happens, I'm telling you, there are a lot of directions that can go. So I definitely want to pay attention to what's going on with Iris Energy. What else do we have? Uniswap is developing Unichain. That's their own Ethereum-based layer 2. Yeah, can you say wow? They've got more than enough use for it, more than enough use case for it. So that's going to be interesting to watch and see how that plays out. So we've got a lot of news today, more news. Like, this is the kind of stuff that we'd be sitting there going, that's a lot to think about. That is actually a lot to think about. So I'm just wondering, like, how's that going to affect everything? What you think? Yeah. So I really am paying attention to this. This is going to be, with all the news that we're looking at right now, you're talking about a lot of infrastructure stuff. Cumberland, a trading firm, has allegedly been, trading unregistered securities. So of course the SEC is going to go after them. Here's the stupid part. The SEC once again says Solana and Polygon are securities. It's already been said. So I think I think the SEC is inviting trouble. They're inviting pushback. I'm like, good luck. This is what I mean. But the SEC needs to bite off smaller bites. Stay focused. Stop trying to make things bigger than what they are. Cumberland messed up. What are the securities you think that, because they're going to have to file the same way they did the last time. They're going to have to refile or alter the documents and say, yeah, we didn't mean Solana and Polygon. We meant these other ones. That's what happened the last time. So that would also mean that the attorneys for at the SEC are not paying attention to detail. So if they're not paying attention to detail, wouldn't that open up the door to everybody else that's bringing the SEC to task? Everybody's suing the SEC. They served a Wells notice to crypto.com, and crypto.com said, hold my beer. We're suing you. What's your jurisdiction? And with something like this, where the SEC had to file documents and say, oh yeah, that's not a security, that's not a security. Yet they're calling it a security in this case. You're dropping the ball. How are you handling this? What are you talking about? So their case is already riddled with problems. I mean, heck, if you really stop to think about it, Cumberland can say, well, if we're only dealing with these things, then are they really unregistered securities? Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem. That is a big problem. You want to know what else is a big problem? Cardano. I told you guys before, Hutanic, I hope you're listening. I told you guys before that freaking Charles Hoskinson is a problem. He's a problem. He's been holding, the same way he's got a great mind for technology, he's been holding Cardano back, in my humble opinion. And he's been holding it back to an extent, hey, Stitchy, to an extent large enough. Come here, uppy, come here. No? You don't want to be on TV? Okay, it's all right. You just want your pets. He just shows up to get his pets. That's okay. That's okay. You get your pets. So when I look at the SEC, I'm just like, you people are freaking stupid, dumb as dirt, because you're redoing it. But then you look at Cardano, and Cardano has a vote of no confidence. What? Cardano voted a vote of no confidence, or the community voted no confidence. I told you before, Hoskinson needs to go. He needs to shut up. He does everything but talk positively about Cardano. He keeps muddying the waters with his, political rants and gun-toting ways and stupid trips that he's taking. Great, do that with your platform when you're not associated with Cardano, please. Go away. There's a strong development team that's there, and I think he's become more harmful than good. I really, really do. A vote of no confidence? I don't care what it's for. And then he came out with, a rebuttal to that saying, Cardano's not dying. Dude, if you have to say it, something's wrong. Whether it's dying or not, I don't think it's dying. Something's wrong. And he needs to stop being the voice of Cardano. He needs to disassociate from Cardano. It can't come soon enough. He's really screwing everything up. So if you're listening, please have a seat. Please have a seat. I think you're a really smart guy. I think you've done some really good stuff for Cardano, but I really, really think you need to disassociate yourself. Finish off your task, hand off to the rest of the team, and move on, because you are a drag on Cardano. It seems like every time you open up your mouth, Cardano is on defense. On defense. Again, I don't care what the vote of no confidence says. It's still a vote of no confidence. And then you have to come out with a statement, Cardano's not dying. Dude, that's how you address it? That's how you address it. Public speaking is not his thing. He's not a good ambassador. There are other projects that can't do half as much as what Cardano can do, but they're doing better than Cardano. It's a crying shame. Dude, please step away. I think Cardano has been doing well despite his involvement as of late. I know he means well. That much I can say. I know he means well. But he's not doing well. It's my own personal opinion. That's my own personal opinion. That's a big problem. Then there's another trading firm that the SEC is going after, and I thought this one was interesting. because I'll read you what I typed. The SEC accuses a trading firm of deceiving investors by falsely claiming to use AI in its strategies, leading to a legal dispute over fraudulent practices. Let's see. If I move my chair this way, can you see him? Yeah, I was hoping that if I move my chair, you'd be able to see Stitch. He's looking out the window right now. He looks cute. But that's all of that is huge news right now. Huge news. So crypto takes a tumble. Why? It takes a tumble because, well, you have everything going on with, the whole thing with whatchamacallit. Who is it? Silk Road. All that money. The Bitfinex money. CPI data. You just have a lot of stuff going on. I'm looking at it right now, and crypto's at 59,925. Somebody asked me a while ago, look, a week and a half ago? Hey, what do you think how far down do you think it's going to go with this correction? And I said it's not a correction. It's a small dip. And it's still a small dip. Here, I'll show it to you. Don't believe me? I'll show you. What do you see? What you see right here, right there, is Bitcoin still operating within my blue bands. Still operating within my blue band. 57,655 to 63,719, and we're still there. We're still bouncing along right there. Lateral movement. Big moves within that lateral movement. A lot of volatility within that lateral movement. Still lateral movement. Doesn't stay for too long above, doesn't stay too long below. You can see that here, you can see that here, but it can take a hit. So I'm just sitting back and just looking at it all and saying, wow, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But right now, what am I doing? I'm doing this. I'm looking at, as a matter of fact, even better than that. I'm doing this. I'm looking at the top 25 losers and saying, where should I be getting in? Let's see who we can find. Aptos, down 7%. So from right here is where I'm looking. So Chili's could be one, Phantom could be one. I'm not mucking around with either one of them, but I know people are interested. Turbo is another one that people are messing with. Aptos, Nero, another one that people are messing with. Sui's only down 3%, so it's kind of moving just laterally, right? It's at $1.80. It was at $2 the other day. Is now a good time to get in? Why the hell not? I mean, just pay attention to what's going on. Doxxes is down a lot, 4%. Ooh, let me cry. But it's down since its high, 61% from its all-time high at 1.54. That's the GMBX factor. Do I think it's going to go up, wind up going up? Yeah. I'm still in it. Then you look at the winners, and yeah, Uniswap is taking off. Why? Because they made that announcement. We're going to have our own, layer 2. Unichain. Sounds like an Autobot, doesn't it? Sounds like it should be in a Transformer movie. Dog with hat. So everybody. So if you think about this right here. So between the top, you got 6 over here at the top 25. The bottom, you've got 9 right there. Everybody else within the top 250 coins is moving sideways. Means basically they're not doing anything. Just saying, there's a range that everybody's playing the game in. And that range is within my blue bands. It's within my blue band. That's where everything is at right now. Not just Bitcoin. And most of the movement that you're seeing is lateral movement. Which is why I keep telling you guys, pay attention to the news. Right? Because the news is going to tell you what's coming. So that's what I do. I pay attention to the news and I pay attention to see what's coming. Right? Because I think it's more fun that way. Yeah, like how the sun is coming in dead on me right now. It's awesome for lighting. I mean, I should have closed the blinds, but I normally would have been on at 8 o'clock and the lighting would have been perfect, so I apologize. But yeah, that's it for today. I'm going to go out with the boys. We're going to have some fun. Might partake in a little bit of alcoholic beverage and be good about it. You know what I mean? Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. Hope you have a good one. I hope you enjoy what we do. If you do, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell all your friends about it because we've got a lot of stuff going on. Anyway, everybody, thank you for your time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.